It being 6:30, I am going to note that this meeting will occur over Zoom, video phone, teleconference per the allowance under the Governor's Emergency Order number 12 that waives the requirement of having a quorum of the board physically present for a public meeting. We encourage those who would like to participate to please call the number listed below. Roll call vote. Alan Silly,
Present.
Andy Fitch, Andy,
Present. Sorry, I was on mute.
okay. Kathleen DeWolf,
Present.
Fran Newton,
Present.
and Eli Badger is here. Moving on. Charlie, public hearing for the return of surplus from Health Trust.
Chief's in here, so I'm wearing my mask.
Congratulations.
We have to open up the public hearing to accept a return of surplus that we received from Health Trust.
In the amount of $18,898.
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to open up a hearing?
So
Make
moved.
that- Okay. I'll second.
Okay, roll call vote. Alan Silly,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Kathleen DeWolf, Kathleen,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Eli Badger says aye.
Okay, so what this is, Health Trust Board of Directors, basically, they audited their financial statements for 2020, and they gave a bunch of money back to members of their group. And our amount, we were allotted 18,780. No, sorry, wait a minute, that's not right. 18,898 and 47 cents. It's broken down as 18,187 in medical, 587 in dental, and short-term disability of 123. Now, some of this $18,000 total 2405 will go back to employees because our employees pay 10% on medical, and the town doesn't pay any dental. But the town does pay all of the disability. So the town keeps the disability, the town keeps, well, $16,000 of the medical, and we'll distribute 2405 to, let's see, 17 employees. So it's for the employees that are still employed with the town and that were employed with the town over the last fiscal year, which for Health Trust is July 2019 to June 2020. You got a question, Kathleen, or?
No, I was cleaning my,
You can't tell me you're waving at me or not there.
oh, no, it was my thumb that said I've never cleaned my camera.
Yeah.
Do we, is this considered unanticipated?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, basically. Yeah. We'll just roll back into the fund. I mean, we got the check in November, but we still had to calculate how much it was, and because of the holiday and stuff, it just got pushed back to January.
Does Catherine have anything to say to this? I see she's on.
So, I mean, I guess you can ask me, if you have any questions, I can answer them. I mean, I will say one thing about Health Trust. Health Trust has been very helpful as a vendor this year. I've noticed they've actually increased the the amount for the benefit on dental for employees. They were, usually it's about $1,000. They went up to $1,500 because of COVID. They're also offering, if anyone that's enrolled and gets, affected by COVID, that they're going to cover it. I think last I knew, I'd have to check my emails again, but I think they rolled that. They also rolled that over till next year. So, if someone, God forbid, has to go to the hospital with this and is in for a long period of time, there's going to be coverage. So,
Well, this is great news.
I never got any insurance money back that way. Then I'll make a motion that we accept. the
I
amount.
think we have to close the public
Yep.
hearing before we do that.
Before we do that?
Yep.
The right procedure, okay. I
Uh,
make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Well, shouldn't we ask for, if there's anybody that wants to, from our audience, ask a question about it?
Okay.
Yes.
You're in charge.
Is there any input from the public on this, since it's a public hearing? Apparently not. Kathleen, restate your motion.
I'll make a motion, we leave the public hearing and go back into regular session.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Alan Silly,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye.
Fran Newton.
Aye.
Moving, next step, Charlie, is to what? Accept the money?
Well, I wrote that down as the motion to
Okay,
accept the funds and then close the public hearing.
okay.
Easy
And
enough for
moving-
me. If you want to
And
vote
moving
again.
on,
Okay.
virtual town meeting. Up,
No,
any
we
updates,
we
Charlie?
need to make a motion to accept the money now.
Isn't that what Charlie just said?
Yeah.
That
But
he
We need to
included
make
it?
that motion.
We have to make the motion.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the return of surplus from Health Trust in the amount of $18,898.47.
Do I hear a second?
Second,
Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Alan Silly,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Kathleen DeWolf,
aye.
Fran Newton.
Aye.
Okay, moving on.
Your vote, Eli?
Aye.
Hmm.
Uh,
I would have got it in the minutes anyways.
Yeah.
Sorry.
New business is still the 2021 virtual town meeting.
Are we going to do the minutes?
Oh, okay. Yes,
I have some corrections.
I do too, but you go
But-
first, Fran.
The paragraph in section 3, the discontinuance of town road warrant article. The sentence on line 28. I would say that we should, line 29, that whole sentence should be stricken. Selectmen had concerns submitting the warrant article as they were not sure how discontinuance would benefit the town, ? I would rewrite it. Selectmen asked how the warrant article would benefit the town. The next sentence, there was also no clarity as to who owned the land, and get rid of the "and overall, they had too many questions and answers." I would just say there was no clarity as to who owned the land. Also, and uncertainties as to boundaries. Then the next sentence, the board preferred this issue, get rid of warrant article request to the town, because there's a redundancy here. Board preferred this issue be submitted through a petition warrant article.
Do I hear a second?
Got it.
I have a correction in that same section.
Go ahead.
It says Gooden has an interest in expanding his business by purchasing the neighboring lot. He owns that lot. He's the owner of record.
I think the word, the fact that of the road was unclear, Kathleen. That was my concern. That
Well,
we weren't sure who owned the road.
So, and that's it. So you can't say it's lot would be and road are two different things.
I thought he was purchasing the neighboring lot and he hadn't done it yet.
No.
No,
No.
no.
Wanted the road discontinued and then he wanted, and
Add
that was
it
my
to it.
question, did he then have to purchase additional land? He owns some of it with his parking, but the boundary was unclear as far as I'm concerned. And the road ownership itself was uncertain. So he didn't want to purchase a lot. He wanted the road discontinued, period.
So I'll just take out by purchasing the neighboring lot and just put expanded his business and prefers the warrant article be submitted by the board rather than petition. Because that's what he wanted.
Yeah, fine.
Cool.
Okay,
I also have a correction at the very end. When we came out of non-public, we did not make any announcements.
That's correct.
We did not go back into regular meeting and make an announcement and then leave the meeting again. We left non-public and ended the meeting.
That's
Very-
correct.
okay,
Yeah, but I
haven't-
announced it.
I have an additional
I announced
correction I just realized.
okay,
Again, on page 1, line 41, or line 40, the board asked the school if the meeting and vote can be held in the school gym.
okay. Do I, Fran and/or Kathleen,
Mhm.
would you redo your motion to include all of the changes?
We
did make
we just announced all the changes. There's no motion yet. We'll submit a
Okay.
motion to accept the minutes as amended, assuming there's no
Okay,
pushback on these corrections.
You want me to take out my announcement that I resigned?
We
Yes.
did not
The
make
board
that
made-
announcement. We
the
did
board
not
made
come out
that-
of non-public and make an announcement.
the board made no announcement of your resignation.
Yeah, but I made it. So
Yeah, but you didn't make it to the public, Charlie. You
Oh.
made it to us and we did not announce it to the public. I mean, there obviously should be a formal announcement and this meeting can be it.
Yes.
But you did
That
not
was not,
announce it.
that was not the procedure that we had partaken in.
It's okay, you know,
Just that the minutes have to reflect what actually happened.
Well, I wrote it in the non-public minutes and we didn't seal the minutes.
I know.
Doesn't matter. We did not come out of non-public and make an announcement.
Correct.
Period. Period.
Wow, okay.
You, only the select board can come out of non-public and make an announcement. It's not your non-public, Mr. Smith. It's the board's. We would have had to reopen the meeting and said announcement needs to be, we would like to make an announcement. We've done this in the past. We've come out of non-public, reconvened the meeting, made an announcement, and then closed out the meeting. We did not do that. Does anybody remember it differently than me?
No, you're absolutely correct. And it's not that we're trying to hide anything, Charlie. It's just that the minutes have to reflect what actually happened.
Okay,
Then I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes as amended. The minutes of December 28th, 2020 as amended.
I'll
do I hear
second
a
that.
second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Alan Silly,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Eli Badger says aye. Moving on. 2021 virtual town meeting. Charlie?
You guys asked to put this on the agenda from the last meeting. I don't really have any update, except for the school board meeting is tomorrow night. I recommended to the board last week that someone from the select board should go to that meeting and advocate on behalf of the town if this board wants to have the deliberative session at the school gymnasium. I mean, they added it to their agenda. It looks like they're going to vote on it. And like I said, I think the board should have representation to answer any questions.
I would like to express some concerns. I've been thinking about this a lot since last week. And I know part of me wants to have it in person because it's so much easier. My concern is that I've heard a number of people say they will not go. People who've gone before say they will not go. My concern is if we have an in-person meeting, there's going to be an extremely small number of people there who have the power to change the warrant for the rest of the voters. Now, not that we ever get a large number. We usually get, 75 if we're lucky. But if we have just a handful of people, they have the potential of making changes to the warrant that represent a very small fraction of the populace. I believe that if we have this virtually, and I know it's difficult and I know it's complicated and it's a real pain, we offer the opportunity to a greater number of people to express their concerns. Now, they won't be this voting business, but every one of them can send an email, make a phone call, send a text or letter, whatever. They have a week to send in their comments, all of which will be considered by the board. I just think it's possibly much more representative if we have this virtually, just because of what I'm hearing, that people have concerns about attending a meeting in person. We also run the risk because the exact wording of the order does not require masks, although the school certainly can. But people move around chairs and everything. We also run the risk of having a spreader event. Now, I know it's small, but these are my concerns and I think they ought to be discussed.
I agree with you, Fran. Just the logistics of the board, legal, moderator, and all the budget committee members. How are we going to spread? Make sure that we're spread out, and we wouldn't even be included in the PB cam frame, video frame. Just the elected, and then they would also have to be the supervisors of the checklist. So just the elected officials alone that are usually that participate in this meeting, that alone is almost 20 some people, if not more. And I hadn't thought of people that usually come that might not come this year. And this is we're testing brand new waters here, and I have a sense that Ashland, where our SB2 meeting is so early in the cycle, we might be one of the first ones to be on the vanguard of testing this virtual meeting out.
However, I do think we need to advocate to have the gym as being an additional polling place. We have that ability to have drive-by and in-person voting. And for those who, for the election, it's in and out, it's very quick. So if we can get it for the election as an additional opportunity for people to vote, I would certainly support that. But I have concerns about putting people in a room for 2 hours or whatever it is. And again, not going to be well represented. the town itself is not going to be well represented because you won't get a lot of people attending.
Any other comments? I agree that it would be much easier to have an in-person meeting. With the COVID issue, with there being more and more people showing symptoms, coming down with the COVID, I would hesitate to want to put people in a confined area.
We have to be mindful of ourselves. I went from knowing nobody with COVID to two since Christmas.
Yeah,
You know, luckily for me, I hadn't interacted with them during the, you know, the 14, the 10-day period.
yeah.
But that's not saying by February 4th, that has not changed exponentially.
Absolutely. And, you know, just as a horrible reminder, we have over 350,000 dead in this country. There's a new strain that's 70% more transmissible that's now appeared in 3 states that spread across the country. So, you know, it's in more places. We will not be vaccinated, any of us, by
Yeah.
February 4th, I guarantee. So I just think that there's a risk that we could avoid and not take the path of least resistance just because it's easier.
I mean, we could keep going forward and, you know, have a live meeting, but if any of us fall in the parameters where either we have to quarantine or we may have COVID ourselves, we can't act effectively as a board if we can't be there to fulfill our statutory duty. We'd have to have, 3 people would have to be there. We'd at least have to have a quorum, where at least virtually we could still fulfill that requirement from home.
Alan or Andy?
My concern is, are we going to be able to accomplish everything we need to do to have it virtual in the short time that we have? We've already taken a step back on the postcards. According to what I saw, we're going to have to go to an outside printer. I don't know, are we going to be able to accomplish it satisfactorily? That's my concern.
That being said, since tomorrow the school board would meet, we should know Wednesday what the decision is, and we may have to have a select board meeting this week.
Does our moderator get to weigh in on this subject of whether the area is that's been chosen is safe or not? Mr. Smith is shaking his head up and down.
Know if the moderator can talk about safety, but the moderator can certainly talk about the process.
Let me check my notes, Eli, real quick. I
Yeah,
want to say I highlighted that the moderator could technically deem the place.
Yeah,
unsafe.
I
yes,
read that too, yeah.
that's what I read. I just wanted to make sure that I read it right.
Where that decision is going to be made after the warrant has been posted and thus the town meeting has been scheduled, the moderator should make a determination under 40:4 that emergency COVID has rendered use of the meeting location unsafe. And then the select board would then exercise option to conduct a virtual meeting as permitted by HB 1129. Second paragraph of the NHMA guidance on December 4th.
Yeah.
But that's where all this stuff is kind of confusing.
It's very confusing. I don't know why the moderator would have that power to
Oh.
declare it unsafe, but I mean, shouldn't that be the school and our decision?
And I
Yeah.
think that might be an overlap with the traditional town meeting because they
I
vote
do too, Kathleen. Yeah. Yeah. Some of that in there is
at
really,
their business meeting. They do the business meeting and then they have their vote where we have the deliberative and then a separate date. for-
I think you're right. To Andy's question, Charlie, can this be, let's say we make a decision to go virtually, can we get the postcards out? You know, I'm sure the rest of it can be handled, but that seems to be
Well-
what he's concerned about.
I was talking to the vendor about the cards and right before the meeting and got told probably about a week to turn it over.
So we need to make a decision very soon.
I would suggest we make it by the end, by Friday.
Oh.
That maybe we'll have to have a brief meeting, posted meeting on Thursday.
I
Or
think you're
Friday
right.
morning.
Yeah,
We could have a meeting Wednesday.
We have a meeting Wednesday?
Budget
We could-
committee.
We could have a
Oh,
meeting
we could,
Wednesday.
oh, you're making it, oh, okay, it's a query, not a statement.
yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it doesn't matter, but it needs to be this week.
Well, if we, for example, were to send something to get printed, even an extra day or two might ensure us getting the postcards back in time. Not knowing where Mr. Smith,
Wait a minute, do we have to get do the postcards have to come back or are they just, these are just to notify? It's not, they don't have to be returned.
No,
no, but we have to be able to print
Oh, you,
the postcards up
okay,
with
got,
the
I got what
statement
you're saying, okay,
and mail them out.
yes, okay. I
And-
understand what your statement now.
Now, Mr. Smith said that the turnaround time was about a week. And we still have a weekend in there. So if we can save a day or two, I wouldn't mind doing that.
I agree.
Anybody else want to weigh in?
I think the sooner the better for everybody, so that we know where we're going and how we're getting there.
Shall we have a meeting? Can we have a meeting Monday at 1?
Monday,
Monday,
Excuse me, Wednesday at 1?
okay,
that works for me.
Yeah, I have no issues with that.
Kathleen?
that's fine with me. I just have planning board that evening. So afternoon would be fine with me.
Yep. I have budget committee.
On
at
Wednesday,
4 On Wednesday.
Okay,
Alan, what about you?
It depends what time.
1 o'clock?
Mm, I can probably make that work.
Is there a better time, Alan?
I could easily say Wednesday is not a good day, but I'll see what I can do.
I mean, I will agree that Wednesday is not a good day, but it's the close. As I say, days will matter.
I understand that. All I can do is say I'll try to make it work.
Okay. Wednesday at 1? Charlie?
I got it. I'll post it tomorrow.
Okay,
Set up the Zoom. A
that would be
couple
nice.
things, if the board is considering voting on this virtual meeting, a couple things to think about over the next few days is the dates, the time and dates.
Yeah.
Last Friday, I sent you an example of what we possibly could send out to residents. I had those 4 items. The first meeting will be held on such and such date. Residents could watch on Zoom and call in, et cetera, et cetera. Similar to the type of posting that we do now. After that, at that meeting, the selectmen would review the warrant, explain the articles, and the public can comment on the articles by sending us emails. You'd have to determine where you want those emails to go to. They can drop comments off at the town office, mail it to us.
Yeah,
And then at the second meeting, the date to be determined, do it again, have the Zoom notification, et cetera, and that's where the board would finalize the warrant.
okay. While we're talking about Zoom, Charlie, didn't Andrew have a suggestion to move, to get the next step up for Zoom meetings for the work, like a workshop,
That's right too, yeah. Yes, he did.
okay?
So that answers, I don't know if Fran Newton saw that, but that was a response to your inquiry about setting up the IT.
Yeah,
Or couldn't we use the water and sewer office?
No, he was talking about opening up the accounts, because right now I think we're set at,
Oh, a limited
no.
amount of people?
yeah, you can only have about 100, I think.
Oh,
I'd have to check what our account setup is. But it's more about having a number of accounts able to at one time. I mean, I might right now, talking IT, I'm in the conference room in the office and I'm on Wi-Fi. So that's why I could have had problems with it. But the town has fiber. And
yes,
I might be able to just set up my computer at my desk and then be on fiber
okay.
okay.
to help. That's just a thought that I had.
So
And I-
hot wire the, instead of being on
Yep.
Wi-Fi, go
Mhm.
direct.
That's right. Yeah, just
Yeah.
plug it in. Maybe it would help. I don't know, but so everyone knows I'm on
It
Wi-Fi.
all, yeah, it gives a more consistent signal.
Yeah.
Okay. Um. Any other talk about the virtual town meeting? Now, well, I will say that Andy broached the idea of using one of the DPW garages to, if we have to have a public meeting, and the school won't let us, we could have one there. And I noticed that Craig is here also. So between the two of them, they can tell us how that might work.
So let me, I need to say barring weather.
Barring weather.
Yes, if we have a major snowfall, that would, that could put a crimp on everything.
That put a crimp in it.
So basically, what Craig and I talked about this morning was, we would have to clean out the bay. Everything would have to move outside or move to other locations. Obviously, we'd have to get chairs from someplace. It could be done. It's going to require considerable work, because that's not what the facility is set up for. Our best bet is the school. But if we're gonna go virtual, then it's a moot point anyway. Virtual, to me, is kind of scary. There's a lot of steps to it. But if we're gonna go that way, we need to get rolling.
Okay, I
We
agree
did.
with that.
We did talk a little bit. If we're going to have drive-through voting, the town garages is the place to have it. Establish it as one way. Once you get into the driveway, you can set up 2 lanes, and then they can go out the back way and come out onto Collins Street. That would be a good drive-through voting area.
No matter what decision we make, we're not going to be real popular. This is not going to please everybody, no matter what decision we make. So just be prepared. We're just trying to do the best we can to ensure the greatest participation and the greatest safety for our town. That's, where I'm coming from.
Okay, does anybody else have anything to say about the virtual town meeting at this point? Moving on then.
Before we get too far, Eli, are we going to send somebody to the school board tomorrow night? To the meeting?
I will try to attend for sure. What time is it?
Marty, what time is the school board meeting tomorrow night? She's looking it up.
Okay, I will certainly attend.
Okay. Charlie?
It's, it's 6:30.
Yes, it is.
It's on the town website.
Yes, it's been confirmed by the webmaster.
And I assume it's virtual as well. There's a Zoom element to it.
Yeah, they aren't using Zoom, but they do have a login.
Okay.
They're using a different platform, but it's,
Oh, I don't see it. It just says YouTube.
I believe if you click on the agenda, it goes into a little more detail. I saw it earlier today.
Well, we have a couple of people we can ask. So yes, Andy, someone is going to go to, at least virtually, to the meeting.
Sounds good.
Moving on, do we have any old business that we need to discuss?
I mean, sort of, yeah.
Okay,
We have a meeting scheduled for the 18th. That's a holiday for staff. So,
Can we make it the 19th?
yeah, you're gonna have to,
oh,
it'd be helpful if we moved it.
so the 18th is a Monday is what you're saying?
The 18th of Monday, it's Civil Rights Day. Town
So
office,
we'll move it to the 19th.
the 19th. 3 o'clock, like we did before?
How does that work for everybody?
Or wait, was it 3 or 3:30? We moved those to
3.
3 o'clock.
right? Yeah.
Does
That
work,
works for me.
Alan?
I'll look at my calendar.
Kathleen?
Works for me.
Fran?
Works for me.
I'll be good with that date.
Okay, and time?
3 o'clock.
Okay. Select board items.
I have an item.
Okay. We'll start with the ladies first.
I have concerns about billing in the electric department. I have noted that I have not had 2 of my payments posted. So the bill that I got recently is exorbitantly high because 2 payments that I've made were not posted. Now, I've heard from others as well that this is a problem. When I was in town hall today, there was a couple in there talking about their problem with billing. So I don't know what's going on, but it's way, way behind. And I'm not trying to cast blame. I just think we need some additional help in there because, I was told, well, just subtract it, which I did, but even the second payment wasn't noted. It wasn't posted. So there's a concern, and I think that ought to be looked at because people are getting large bills or the payments are not being noted. The first payment I made was directly from my bank. I pay online. The second payment I made was through the town website, thinking that that one would be logged, and it was not. But again, I'm not the only one, so I think that needs to be looked at.
Yeah, we fielded a lot of calls, a lot of complaints about that. I did today. One of them, what's happened kind of shocked me. I got told before through the department and through the billing company that if your bill, you can pay your bill, but if your bill's not posted by the time that the next bill goes out, then it's going to show up. But then I got told by someone that no, I paid my bill before that date and it was still there. So I don't know. So I've got, on my list to follow up with the clerk and to follow up with the software company. I told finance today that maybe we come up with a letter for the next billing to ease concerns of the public, because some folks are concerned that this is going to affect my credit. No, it's not. We're not going to send it to a collection agency or anything. But it's difficult for staff to keep up with the volume. A lot of this is new to staff. I mean, our hires have only been doing this for 2 months. Prior experience had 10 years doing it. Okay. What I've been working on behind the scenes, that I've actually not behind the scenes, I've said it in public, is trying to automate this. This is AMI. This is updating the website. This is accepting credit cards. This is the handheld devices. This is all stuff, projects that I've been working on to try to automate all of this. If we can get there, then your bills will get printed and posted within 24 to 48 hours. They'll be emailed to you. You can just pay online, and it's supposed to update the website. I don't want to make that sound like an excuse. I'm just trying to tell you that's a project that I've been working on for the last 4 to 5 months. It's just not something that can just happen overnight, is what I found out. I mean, I've tried to put it through. We've had hangups with the merchant because each department uses different merchants, and merchants, so everyone knows, is basically the credit card company. Right now, we don't accept credit cards for either of the utilities, and that's not that easy setting it up. We have to determine rates and how much we're going to charge folks, and then internally, we don't even have we have to set up the internet, and there's just a little bit more work that needs to be done. We just barely got the handhelds the last week of December. We have to get those programmed. We have to get staff trained on how to use those. My thoughts, because right now everyone it's pen and paper. And if there's an error when someone writes an 8 or a 9, it can really make errors in the whole billing system that takes time, that needs to be corrected. So everyone knows, their staff is working out the kinks, I guess you could say, with the billing software company. The billing software company is relatively new to the department. I think maybe about 1.5 years, Ashland Electric has been using them. The reason why we stay with them, as I was told, is because we're considered an AMI. I mean, if you do, I get advised you do one or the other. right? If you go with the meters or you go with changing your billing software. Both ones are big projects, and I personally recommend the AMI project because right now our meters are really old. They're not being read adequately, and the department is losing revenue, a significant amount of revenue. If this board decides you want to change the software that's causing issues for staff, certainly we can do that and put AMI off for another time being. But that's basically what's going on. Like I said, I've been responding to calls to Fran, and I said to finance at the end of the day, yeah, maybe with the next bills that are about ready to go out, we'll write something up and send it out to everyone to try to ease everyone's concerns.
I appreciate that, Charlie, and I understand it's very complicated. You know, my bigger concern was when it happened the first time, I thought, okay, there's just a delay in posting. And I did check and the amount was debited from my account. So I know it went, you know, it got paid, but it was not credited to my electric account. But then when the bill came out Saturday, and not only was that earlier one not posted, the one that I posted where I subtracted that amount was not posted. So that's now 2 months where what I've paid has not been posted. So now I have to go back and find, you know, proof that those things were paid, I assume. But, you know, there's going to be a lot of confusion, and I don't know if you need extra staffing temporarily to help get this chaos cleaned up or what, but you know, I do have concerns. And again, I'm patient with, you know, getting new systems in. I think it's long overdue, but I just have some concerns about the cleanup of the mess that we've created up to now.
And I'd like to jump in on this one as well. I've had phone calls and a couple of people in person. One person is having money taken out of his bank account weekly. And he has not had one payment credited in the last month and a half. Just to add to the situation to show you how bad it is.
And I've even had, which doesn't happen very often, I had someone call me this morning about the same situation. A business owner in town is upset about it, and I really don't blame this person for being upset. But what also was mentioned, that if Ann or Patsy isn't there, people don't come to the window to at least give the customer an explanation of why they can't take money. They just seem to be ignored, is what I've been hearing. So we've got to correct that somehow. I mean, we may know that only 2 people or 3 people are allowed to take money there, but most of our residents don't understand that. They see 3 or 4 people in there and nobody helps them, is what they see.
I agree with Eli. I even stood at the counter. Granted, you know, wearing a mask, maybe you're not as easily recognizable, but yeah, I had to hover for a few minutes until somebody got up and came over and waited on me. I understand what's going on. I tried to be as patient as possible, but I'm sure there's many people in town that feel that this is unacceptable. It's a place of business. When you enter that office, it's not a social call. You're there to conduct business, and somebody should at least provide the simple courtesy of getting up, walking to the window and say, how can I help you? Or may I help you? If they can't, then they have to explain to the person their position doesn't allow them to accept payments, that they could put it into the Dropbox, which might be still something that people aren't comfortable with. I'm sure there's quite a few people in the population that likes to have their, their slip stamp paid. They want to have that physical piece of paper to show that they did indeed make a payment. I think our office staff needs to be reminded they're there to serve the public. Whether it's something in their purview or not, do not sit at a desk, look up, see somebody's there, and then look back down at your desk or your computer and act like nobody's there. That's unacceptable. And I got pretty close to saying something myself last week. But I think I was finally recognized. That being said, this is difficult for many people. This is a big change with the way we're doing business with our utilities. It's a change in how we're managing people coming in and out of the town office. I just ask people, please try to be patient. We're doing what we can, when we can, and as quickly as we can. But don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions. Just don't take it to the post office or some other area and talk about it. That's not going to help us help us with the problem. We all have town emails. People can email us with their concerns. They don't have to call us on the phone. We're here to serve the public. We're public servants. That's what we are. And even the people who get a paycheck at the town office or the utility building, our job is to serve the public.
Anybody else have anything to say? Okay. Are there any other items that the select board would like to talk about? Oh, I forgot my cheat sheet.
There's nothing else on.
Use that memory bank.
I forgot my cheat sheet. Ladies and gentlemen, I emailed 4 of you a list today
Yes.
of items that we might want Mr. Smith to supply us before he leaves. Are there any additions that you would like to make to that? Please email them to me and I'll submit them to Mr. Smith.
Very good.
Okay. Is there anything else that we want to talk about? If not, I will entertain a motion
To
to
adjourn,
adjourn.
so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor? Alan,
Aye.
Andy,
Aye.
Kathleen,
Aye.
Fran,
Aye.
and me and a third person says aye.